everyone, I'm Grace Arun, and today we are going to get into a topic which is of great relevance in today's scenario. Anyone who has anything to do with a business transaction or anyone who needs to get a bank account done, all of them need to have their KYC processed. So the topic we are going to be dealing with today is Know Your Customer. Now, would you know the background to how this came about? Way back in 2002, the Reserve Bank of India decided to come about with the KYC process, and this being with the intention and the attempt to prevent any kind of money misuse. That was the basic concept behind introducing the concept called KYC. So today, let us see how KYC comes about as a very important parameter even in how you do your businesses. So, like we said, KYC is the process in which all information pertaining to a customer is obtained and stored for any relevant subsequent use. Now, this is done with the purpose that their products and services are not ever misused. So, what are the various benefits that you get by the concept of KYC? One, it helps establish the customer identity. Now, when we talk about the customer identity, every business provider would want to have a certain customer base, and for you to be able to actually know whether the customer you're dealing with is indeed the customer that you're referring to, you would need their actual identity, and KYC is the most valid means of getting the customer identity established. Second, what we need to do in the next step when it comes to the KYC process is understand what is the nature of the customer's business, what is the activity he actually does, and most importantly, find out the source from where the funds that he has is obtained. What is the source of funding and what is the actual process that takes place behind the funding to ensure that it is a legal and legitimate process. So that is the second step which is taken when it comes to the concept of KYC. And further on, what we do is we then monitor the customer's activities. What is the customer doing? Is he doing what he said he is doing in terms of the kind of business he is following? So you're able to get a complete chain in terms of understanding the identity of the customer, getting into the nature of work that he does, and then monitoring the set of activities that he does. This comes in very effective and essential for anyone who's involved in any kind of business transaction with a customer. So let's look at some of the advantages of KYC. As we said, this is something which was introduced merely with the concept to ensure that there is no misuse of funds and there is absolutely no illegal use of the money of an individual. So, what are some of the benefits and advantages of the Know Your Customer process? You start off with what you call is the ability to trace and locate your customer. At any given point in time, with the customer's details that you have with you, you know the traceability and the knowledge base referring to the customer. So, you at any given point in time have adequate information pertaining to the customer. You will then be in a position to take full advantage and do a lot of cross-selling and upselling. Now, any business person will always know that it is not always one product that you sell to the customer. Once you make that first sale, you would then want to kind of do the adjoining other parameters that you use as a sales person. So, for example, let's presume you are selling milk to a customer and you know that this is a customer who's taking certain liters of milk from you on a daily basis. Very soon, you may want to then diversify into looking at the option of selling him other milk products. It could be ghee, it could be paneer, it could be any other kind of products. So therefore, with the knowledge of the customer that you have in hand, you are then in a position to further cross-sell and upsell. You have quick and secure access to business information. there may be many a times where you need to run a database and look at the kind of customers you have with you, with the concept that you would want to then try and do various marketing activities, promotional activities, work out various schemes and offers for different set of customers, for which the customer base that is available with you readily works and helps. And KYC is a great way by which you will be able to achieve that. Most importantly, it protects the customer database. Now, this is all very personal information that you're collecting, and this is something once stored in the format of the KYC, it is absolutely safe and secure. It ensures that all regulatory and compliance related aspects are taken care of without any worry of penalties. Now, the government has a lot of statutory processes and compliances that one needs to adhere to, being in business or being in any form of a money transaction scenario. So, when you are done with your KYC process, you can be assured that there can be no worries of having any penalties on account of anything which is regulatory or compliance related. It also helps you improve your business process speed or agility. So like we said earlier on, if you have to run a variety of databases for a variety of activities, for running parallel schemes or upgrading your business or diversifying into a different stream or segment or sector, the kind of database of the customers who are applicable with you is going to be of utmost importance. So this is going to help you as far as the business process agility is concerned as well. It helps you mobilize your workforce. Now, every business has got a team that will be operating to actually make the business engine run. So think of a sales force, think of the back-end service, think of the service team, think of the marketing team. There would be various aspects to the entire business concept. Now, if you have to be able to give a certain activity to each of these verticals of sales or service or marketing or finance or back-end or any of the verticals, your database is ready. You don't have to really worry about working on the basics from start. It eliminates all the back office processing by getting the right information right from the word go. So what happens typically is, many a times when there was no structured process of putting down all this information in place, people would do a manual entry and then forget about it. When there would be the next requirement for the same kind of information, they would again do another manual entry, and this would go on, leading to a whole lot of errors and mistakes, which is highly possible when there is a manual intervention. So when you have all the information captured in the form of the KYC, chances of there being any kind of mistakes and errors gets greatly reduced. So it makes it a very robust process for you as far as your back office management is concerned. And most importantly, any shift in business or any kind of a change in the business model that you may want to consider is all made possible by having your KYC in place. Now, when we come to the concept of KYC solutions, what is it that it guarantees in terms of improving your business opportunities? There is a lot that it brings to the table by enabling you to actually scale up your business if you have your KYC in place. That is, if you have all the mandatory details pertaining to your customers in place. So the first one is, it gives you a very deep understanding of your customers' needs and profiles. Many a times, we go wrong with our basic selling because we don't know what is it that the customer needs. The main concept or the key fundamental thought process behind sales is offering a set of propositions to the customer depending on what the customer needs. It is not we wanting to push our product. It is about giving the customer something that they require. That is a mandate as far as their satisfaction is concerned. So if you have your KYC in place, you are most likely to be able to give the right set of propositions to your customer, thereby almost ensuring a successful sale. It helps with new sales channels being available anytime and anywhere. So, like we said, if you're looking at alternate sales channels as options, this is something which is going to come about rather easily if you have the customer information in hand. All kinds of processes and workflows can be automated with all the information which is captured correctly at the back end and totally eliminates the risk of there being any kind of errors because of manual intervention. We mentioned that earlier on as well, and therefore this makes it a very robust and a foolproof method to go about engaging your customers and having a very good volume of customer base with you with all appropriate details. All this made possible by the concept of KYC. Like I always say, customer is the king, and the more you have informations pertaining to your customers, the more likely are your chances to succeed when it comes to the concept of business. So wishing you the very best as far as this module is concerned. Thank you very much.